सबको मेरा नमस्कार. This is International Master and FIDE Senior Trainer Sekhar Sahu. Welcomes you on behalf of Sports Authority of Gujarat and Gujarat State Chess Session to this intermediate training session. So I will be continuing with the discussion of classic games. The advantage is that uh, opening, middle game, end game all are coming in this analysis of these games. So I am also following that Karpos games only. After that, I will go to another topic. Let's go through some Karpov's games. He was very scientific and good in planning, good in execution, good in endgame. His opening repertoire is foolproof at that time. So let's continue. Hello, Devers, Tanmay Asbera, Basal Parik, and Akshar Jhala. Welcome. Now, in this particular question, Kramnik is white and he goes for the English opening. In the early career, Kramnik played only E4. Sorry, Karpo. Karpo played only E4. But later on, he switched to English opening and D4 close games. Because if you play one particular line, opponent come prepared. So he decided to be very more flexible as a world champion. Now he goes for a variation which Korchnoi is expert, authority in the world. So he plays first move C4. Now if you play knight f6, the game can go to Indian defense or Queen's Gambit declined. After c4, knight f6, d4, e6. It could be an Indo-Indian, Queen's Indian. So the English opening is very flexible. Hello ANV, how are you? Suresh Bhai Chavda, Birabhadra Singh, Om Desai, and Samir Khan, welcome. So he goes for the classical, symmetrical setup. Miles wants to play very solid. Now d4. So here, Grandmaster Geller found an interesting line for this. For black, Grandmaster Geller, he was a master of opening novelties. He was always finding new ideas in all openings. So Geller's find Queen b6. The idea is to double attack the knight. Bishop cannot come here. That means you need to retreat the knight. E3 is bad because white bishop is committed to the g2 8 diagonal. If you do this, then one of the diagonal will be uncovered. So and capture will strengthening the black center. Capture is not good positionally. Then pawn into and d5 very easy. So it's not a good idea. That means you have to retreat. Now the Geller's idea was to attack. Now one of the pawn in trouble. See, see here. Now the queen c6 is coming with a double attack. You need to defend the pawn. Now if you play passively, then he can play queen to c6, rook attack, and I will pick up the pawn and a better game. This is clearly better. So this is the point of Geller to queen c6 tactical idea. Now that means you have white has only moved e4 to close the diagonal and defend the pawn. Only move. Now he comes tempo. Threat, you have to defend queen e2. Bishop is already tied down. You can't play bishop g2. So only move. Now bishop e3. So that securing a square for the knight. So only move again. Double attack. Now only move again. So after that, black has no more attacking plan. And white center is stronger now. A4 will invite the knight to d4 and good game. So here, castle. The position is plus minus. Plus minus means clear better. It is not winning but clearly better. So I want you to find out now how should white make progress. Hello, Vivan Vishal Saha. It's not easy. It's not easy. Okay, I will make one more move. I will make one more move. Now, you need to be vigilant about the weaknesses. You need to be very quick about opponent's weak points, vulnerable points. So, where are the vulnerable points? So, here, this square, this square, this square. These are all this because bishop is watching the squares. So, bishop has control and knight is coming here to attack. So, plus minus. Position is plus minus. Correct move, Suresh by Chawda and B5. Now, he will not be able to. Knight C7 is coming, which he cannot guard. Now, if you play some move like knight to D E8, it will be miserable. Knight E8 is terrible move. Suppose you play stop this, he will push. Now, these are all just terrible position. These are all terrible position. The pieces are the queen is bad, the rook is bad, everything is bad. Now maybe I will go bishop g2 now. Bishop g2 after castle. I will play rook d1, a3. So he will be squeezed. So here in this position, only move d5. This is the only move to get some kind of activity. And for the exchange, there is no compensation. Okay, you may get a pawn, but that is not enough. Korchnoi, Victor Korchnoi is a great expert of this type of setup and against the Geller system, Queen E2. I saw a game, Korchnoi playing Bagaturov in the Linares or Umeda somewhere. So he played so quickly, about 17, 18 moves. Hello, Jaswin Chaudhary, good morning. All right, I will go next to another game of Karpov. Now, when Karpov was world champion in 1975 after default officer, the other players who could trouble is a group of grandmasters from Europe, Timman, Miles, and from Hungary, Portis, Ribli, Adorian. This is a strong players of that contemporary era. Now, there were not many players outside Soviet Union who could really threaten. Balsimil Hot, you know, there is a group of players from USA, Yasser Sarawan, Robert Bryan. I mean, all the top players of that contemporary era could not give Karpov any serious threat. Till a younger group came like Ivanchuk, Anand, you know, this group started giving trouble. Okay, let's see the game now. Karpov Miles. Now the whole idea, the players were unwilling to enter direct theoretical line. For example, we can play here knight f6 and e6. Now knight f6 is a mere transposition, but they were not ready because the opening repertoire of Karpov was very sound and he was playing very quickly. He will make the move and go for a stroll around, and opponent makes a move, he'll come and make the move. So it is that they wanted to avoid a direct confrontation of theoretical line. So Nowadays that is gone because the advantage with young players, they have all data. They can prepare what the opponent is doing. Then they find out what is the correct antidote. तो वो लाइन में बाकी ग्रैंड मास्टर क्या करते हैं. So without even understanding, they follow it and get a good game. So it is psychologically that many players are avoiding the main theoretical discussion with Karpo. So that was also a psychological advantage. Take. Now already white is better. White getting one tempo is very decisive because there is a race between black and white. Already one plus. Now it is two plus, two moves plus. E4, F4. Because the knight coming to F6, he will get E5 punch. So he will play aggressively. It is like in a boxing match. Now two boxers are ready to fight. So if one player is on defense doing nothing, the other one will start punching. So it is a similar situation. Here black is doing nothing, that white will keep punching. Punch. Huge space. And there is no counter attack. If you play F5, pawn E5 will come. So black is lost on space and center. Normally 4 pawn attack, you go to a Benoni, but this is not ideal setup. The knight on h6, bishop on b7. You can't play c5, then that is bad. So space. Now this is, I will tell you, when a player is outplayed, he will go for tactics, desperation. He says, if you see unforced moves, that idea that you take pawn into pawn, I will play queen into pawn and exchange the queen. Even though it is bad endgame, I will fight. But I will tell you, one must not lose the head. One must play with patience and resilience. The position is bad, but not lost completely. So you should try to develop your pieces. Whatever it is, now I would say you develop with knight h6. This is bad, of course. This is bad. The d5 will come. So knight h6 with the idea, oh, if it's possible to bring the rook and try to open up the line. So something you have to make some fight, but this is equal to surrender. I mean, unforced moves. Why should I take and L? Now replace rook. You cannot. If you push this, it is bad, absolutely bad, and you take, then queen takes pawn. You are getting better and better. So he decided to come here. Pushing is bad, releasing pressure, and pawn into pawn. He can play rook g1, and then I can take leisurely. rg1, rook g4, s3. I pick up the pawn. Now, then what is the use? What is the link of rook g8 and pawn g5? Now, queen takes. Now, rook takes pawn. It is bad. It is strategically bad because the king is uncastled. I will play rook g1. Now, rook into rook. Then how are you going to protect this? Rook g8 check. It's a gaya. It is hopeless position. So you cannot take that pawn, opening the line for my rooks. So here he plays queen. Idea. Now I will take and ready to castle. That next move does not come in chess. So I want you to find out how should white continue. White is tremendously means big advantage for white. How should white play? Veerabhadra Singh comes with g4. Correct. Opening line for the rook. Opening line for the rook. Good move. Now it takes. You have to take it. You cannot give a support unfortunately. Knight h6 is not possible. So you are compelled to take the open further line. Now the h pawn is attacked. So defend that pawn. So he says, Jane do, exchange the queen and run. Then hope to draw. This is the idea that now knight is pinned, but d5. Now the knight, I will take it. And then, so he plays knight into very good plan, outpost. These are the things. Karpo finding a plan very quickly, recognizing his own strong point. A rook will be posted. Idea, next move rook will come, next rook comes, next pawn comes, next rook comes. It is all over. There is no mate, but this kind of position, there is no counter play, only one sided. Outpost. You need to recognize outpost. Rook, no problem. Now the pawn is attacked. Pawn push. You cannot take that pawn. Back rank. That means he notices the weakness very quickly. You cannot take that pawn back rank. Back rank clear, but also I give time again. Pressure. You see the activity. Activity. Now rook g8 will come. Now again activity. I don't have to, last 3-4 moves. No defensive move. Action. 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 It is hopeless. This is how many weakness? Weakness 1, 2, 3. Then the file. Sorry, this I am making the wrong graph. The file. This is also bad point. Everything is bad. Resignable position. This is at top level. They do not want to continue such miserable position. Restriction. I don't want a knight coming to a5 and give some threat hope. So total restriction. Restriction of opponent minor piece is a golden rule according to Karpo. कुछ भी नहीं है अभी. This is ये बर्बाद हो गया. कोई है ही नहीं स्क्वायर. To play this, I will play pawn g6. Exchange down practically. Queen also is bad. So where is the mistake? Where is the mistake? I will tell you. The mistake comes from here. You cannot treat Karpo giving a odd of a move. Black is giving one move odd to Karpo, a world champion. You can't do that. You cannot do that. And this is ridiculous. Hello, Ramakrishna. Ramakrishna, Benoni is not too much. It is in just hard work. A player should be ready to work hard. You know. And I told you, in 2 days I sold Benoni. So suppose you say that white is having this position and winning, then I can discuss. In my episode 161 and 2, 161, 1 and 2, no, I think 159, 160, I discussed Benoni completely. So why it is a bad, why it is too much? It is not too much. You have to work. If you have a problem, you are free to ask me anytime. Not easy. Benoni, brings a chill in the white spine. You play Benoni, white cannot just say, I will have this variation and have advantage. There is no clear-cut demonstration. White must play positionally and black also get counterplay. I told you the higher points. King's Indian, Benoni, they are interrelated. Many of the King's Indian positions goes to Benoni type and some Benoni positions to go King's Indian type. So, if you want to play Benoni, you should also know about the King's Indian structure, King's Indian tactics and strategy. Benko Benoni King's Indian. This is a one active style. Ramakrishna, you are having active style. You should play Benko Benoni King's Indian. Okay. So here C4. Miles was playing, anything for a period of time. Miles was playing only B6. You play E4 B6, E4 B6, F4, Knight F3, whatever you play B6. And he was scoring well. And he was also getting good result. But let me tell you that Knight F3, B6 is bad. This is bad. Why? I will play E4. That means after E4, now C5 and F3 B6. This is ridiculous. Sicilian. Now you cannot do E5. Now you cannot do D5. You cannot do Knight F6. That means it is ridiculous. Now you have to play. I will play Sicilian. Next, if you play BB7, now I will play NC3 and D4. The center. White has already a center. And I will tell you, psychology, anything Miles was playing BC, whatever. So, Yasser Sarawan, a grandmaster from USA, he said, I will just stop his plan. He said, I will play G3. I will play G3. No B6. Now B6 is bad. I will play BG2. Now, younger grandmaster. Miles told Sarawan, they were contemporary. I think Sarawan was 5 years younger to Miles. So Miles told on the board, it's a moral victory. Miles told Sairavan, it's a moral victory. I will show you another psychology like this, just psychology in opening. So here, I mean C4 B6, D4. Now D5. If you play Knight C3, that he is waiting for. Now he will play E6. With the idea, now BB4. So this is the whole point. Now you have to stop BB4. You can't play in the Queen's Indian sector. Now D4, you see D4, Knight F6. Now C4, E6. Knight F3, B6. Now A3. Now this is a terrible move because of D5. It's plus minus. Now Knight C3 and E4. Black cannot stop the white pawn to capture the center with knight and pawn. This is a terrible move. So considering that, here I got the same plan. I have now center is with now white forever. So in this game he is lost because now opening only white dominating. E4 E4 खेलने से कर सकता है. He did not like a small trick. He will play bishop here and take that. So little trick, that means you have to observe why opponent is playing a move, a positional threat. So stop that. Next E4 will come. Now the king in center. If you play E4, the tactics will start. Rook E8, queen coming, all this. Bishop G5. No more pressure on my white center. E3. Get ready to castle. The E4 will come. In due course, E4 will come. So he admits of defeat. He is unable to now bring the knight out. Bad place. And a move like this, it is bad. I will play now B4. Then what about the knight? It is giving problem. You play queen, then maybe I will play rook b8, rook coming there, or just b2 and castle. So he decided now I have to time to return so that I can play d6 and knight d7. Opponent is cramped, don't exchange pieces. It will help the opponent. I don't. He expects that I will play this and he will take it. No way. You want to exchange? Go ahead and exchange at a place where I want. You exchange so that my queen is developed. Plus minus. In position, I would say that knight on both the knights on the rook file. Knight a6, knight h5. The poor placement, and white has cramping effect. Center outplayed. White has center and better pieces, centralized pieces. Black is weak in center and two bad knights. एक नाइट इधर है एक नाइट उधर है डांस कर रहा है तो castle. Oh, this is just I cannot blame. This is tragic comedy, tragedy comedy. In a bad situation, making further bad moves. Now the future of the knight is bad, and the pawn is now immune. All you have to do now, just see what black wants to do. Black wants to push the pawn and knight c5. अभी इतना डेस्परेट हो गया वो दे देगा अभी pawn को. So come here. No c4. He says I want to play c4. No c4. Now I will play next move e4 and it is time. The end is coming soon. Notice, you should not play this kind of moves. You should not play this kind of moves. This is more coordination. The pawns are free. Then a pawn is free. Now e4 idea. It is like a Benoni structure. White normally gets e5 break with a crushing effect. Not now. I will bring the rook. I will bring the rook. I will bring the rook. I will push the pawn. So thereafter I will start. B4 good move. Cannot exchange that pawn and open the A line. Now B5. Choked. He is choked. F4. Next plan, he will bring a rook here and then start advancing. Now he is getting 4 pressure. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4 on this. That means he says, don't do this. Don't do this. I will have pressure. So H3. Now you can do that. Because the pressure is there, but D6 tempo will come. The pawn will come with a tempo. So it is time to advance. Tempo. I think this issue. A gentleman will resign. A gentleman will resign, but he is not a gentleman. So he comes. Now, night attack. So threat. कुछ भी नहीं है. एक एक करके सब जाएगा. अभी now this is ridiculous. Now you can see a queen. ये जो है 1 2 3 4 5 6 ब्लैक का घर में घुस के दिस इज दैट अमिताभ बच्चन फिल्म द दीवार में घर में घुस के मारा ऐसा टाइप सब कंट्रोल दिस इज जस्ट नॉट कमिंग हेलो it will be okay for me if I face tall but would not want to face Karpo. Yeah, actually, I will tell you, Ramakrishna, in the chess history, that there are not many Karpos. Not many Karpos, Smyslov, Rubinstein, handful of players. We see their games and learn the technique and squeezing positional. But that's that everybody cannot play like him. You will not see that it's such a domination. Timely. Other players know this, but the timing. कितना weakness है. गेम में कम से कम 10 वीकनेसेस है ब्लैक का, काफी है क्या, ये कोई गेम नहीं है, रिजाइनेबल. So I will go to the next game. Resign, he resigned. Nobody will blame him. Nobody will blame. So अरे क्या हो रहा है? Hello Suvankar, how are you? Good morning. So let's see another game. Carpo Miles. Miles was, he was basically a dragon player, Sicilian dragon, Arakan, and he was also expert of the Berlin defense. So he was playing a variety of moves. Variety of moves. So now this is, you see, at this point, this is just terrible. This is just very bad. IQP will get a tempo. You can't do that. So you have to play knight into. White is better. IQP this position, white is little better. Giving as much discomfort to black. Queen. Actually, this move, I will tell you, this is not the correct move. You should play here e6. e6. And after knight f3, bb4. This is a theoretical line. Theoretically, this is okay. White is little better. And other alternative, you can play bishop e6, e7, bishop e7. Then I will play move like bishop to d3. He will castle, and now he will play knight c6, rook e1. White is better. Already I have discussed. In case of now bishop f6, I will play bishop e4, not allowing the bishop to come. Not allowing the bishop to come. Now this is a blunder, knight into knight and then bishop check and picking up a pawn. So this is bad. Now if you, the theoretical move is knight here, but in that case I will seize the central square. White is anyway better. So ये position में he played g6, not good move. Now opening reporter, you see this gives advantage. Check. You can't play bd7 nd7, piece जाएगा, only move. And now tempo, only move. Otherwise you lose a pawn. Now, taking the pawn is risky. Take, queen check, queen into is bad idea. White will run behind development. So, center. The position white is already having an advantage. So, he says, welcome. I welcome you to take the pawn. No. White is having a superior center. No IQP is there. And his pressure remains on c6, e file. Now the bishop can come to a3 any moment. The rook will come to e1 any moment. So white center is better. I sometimes repeat certain themes. All the openings, all the defense are designed struggle for the center. Center is the key. Up if you analyze, all players are aiming, every move is directed to go for pressure on center or capture the center. Now who is better here? White is now better in center. Idea is not to win a pawn. Idea releasing now. This position is plus minus. Okay. You see, if you want to come here and hit, the idea is to hit. You will not allow all that. So it is not a good idea to waste time for some imagination. So just develop. Plus. Now queen is already tied down. The bishop cannot move now. The bishop cannot move. The pressure on e6. He can't play c5. Now knight e5 will come. I will double on the b file. anything will happen. Rook e2, rook b2, double, rook e2, double on the e line, knight g5, threatening to win a pawn. So already the position has become plus minus. Trying to consolidate. Threat. Now I will take the pawn because I will take the e7 with a check, stopping any kind of counteraction. Plus minus. This position is plus minus. No need to go further. This position it is over, all over. White is a sound extra pawn and no counterplay. Black has also weaknesses. In return for the pawn, black has nothing. B file there is nothing. Queen exchange. क्या करेगा queen exchange? So this is hopeless position. Now I will tell you the type of mistake where he should be. I mean, I am not here to show the mistakes of grandmaster. I am talking of the position. So here now this is not the correct move, not the best move. This was discussed in the match. I guess Andrei Sokolov and Anatoly Karpov candidates final before meeting Kasparov. 1986, I guess, 86 or 87 era. So he must play e6 now. This is not the best move because of the check, getting advantage. Yes, these positions I'm after the game I am analyzing and showing you the idea. If there is a tactics, I ask you. Okay, I can ask you also positional ideas. What are the things? Okay, I will ask. Sir, finally get the chance to do a live class. I have been following on YouTube. Okay, Suvankar. Ramakrishna, Magnus Carlson is like Karpo. Yes, he is in the same category. They are in the same category. I mean, pure technical play. But Magnus Carlson goes one up level because of the data, he can play any opening and ready to play sharply also. Magnus Carlsen, Karpov was not taking so sharp positions. Whereas I saw in the game of Magnus, he is accepting ultra sharp positions also. So, more modern player. If Karpov was young, he would have also done like that. Okay, I leave this. Go to the next game. Now, Bishop F5 is called the classical setup, and Knight D7 is called smash low. These are the two main lines in this position. So knight d7 more ambitious and this is playing solid. The other moves are not so good here. This is not so good. Now if you play Tartakova and Bronstein prefer to play this. This is a bad line. Now white should play here c3, c3, c3. Idea. Now I will decide bishop to come. Then knight f3, bd, bishop c4. White is better. White is better now. Now if you play, I can even go for queen exchange. We need to check and exchange the queen and little better. 4-3 majority. After the queens are off, I have got 4-3 majority on the position. So I can exchange the queen and go for little better game. I can play bishop c4 and I can start advancing the pawns. White stands better. The other line is pawn into. This is Grandmaster Larsen, Braunstein and Larsen. They prefer this way. The idea is to hit the center. And this weakness is there, but at the moment white cannot take advantage. So I would say this capture is better than the idea of Tartakova and Korsunoi. More dynamic. I have employed it sometimes and it is good result also, not bad. Now c3. The point is, there are some opening books, they say knight f3, and now bishop f5, now g3. Now this plan is to play bg2, castle, and knight s4. The plan is next bg2, and after castling knight s4, I will collect the bishop. Double bishop advantage. Now here in one tournament, black played for a trap. Now mechanical bishop g2, mechanical move, queen check, and white is lost. White is lost a pawn. Abi, this pawn is lost, and you cannot play like this, allowing the checks. This is disaster. So this is just trap. So that means this is a rubbish move. Bishop here, this is a rubbish move. Suppose I play something like c3, then he has nothing. After the c3 move, you have nothing there. So this is bad. Okay, I will tell this. Let's take it to the game. Bad move. I would not say bad move at the moment. This is not bad. Now the idea, you say active play. This is what we learn from classic players. Now there is a threat. There is a threat. So we have a choice. We can play queen d2. We can play queen b3. We can play b3. But these are all defensive moves. The top players have trained their mind to play actively. If there is a choice, so there is a choice. In this critical position, there are 3, 4 moves. So active move. I am threatening your piece, and when you take bishop takes, queen b2, rook will land on 7th rank. Rook will land on 7th rank with a weakness on c6, d7. It is bad. So it takes it. Welcome. I will now play rb1, or you go back queen b6. 3 moves. The queen has come 3 moves. 1, 2, back, and 4 moves. You cannot do 4 moves for one pawn. Now if you go back, I will play rook. Maybe this rook only. No, this rook only. I will play active move. Now you have to go back. This is terrible, terrible position. Or don't tell me that you will come here and after taking you will take this. This is it is terrible, ridiculous. So it is important that a player should learn to play actively, learning from classic games. So he plays queen h3. What should white do now? Yes, yes. I will show you. Queen goes, queen enters and cannot return. I will show you. I will show you. अभिमन्यु हो जाता है. अभी the position white has judgment. He has castled, developed according to the principle. Black has violated the principle. So how to play and take initiative? Think a plan. I can say there are I would say 2 plans are available, 2 or 3, but find one good plan. RFB1. This is a suggestion from Birabhadra. How to play against Personal gambit in closed terrace. I will show that sometime, but let me finish this positions. Rook b1. Direct, I bring the rook to file first. ND2 is an interesting move, but knight should not leave center without a reason. Knight is perfectly placed, controlling e5, going to at right time I can go knight h4, coming to f5. So you should not return knight now. This is knight rook b1. Force, rather force. The queen cannot defend, rook cannot defend, and these are bad moves. And in that case, the queen will get trapped. These are bad moves. Queen will get trapped. Trapped means it is bad, horrible position will come. So this is bad. So here rook nb6 only. Now bishop coming. Defend. You cannot defend. You cannot defend. If you play queen coming, then pawn c4 is coming and d2 coming. So he decided to return the pawn. Now material equal. You can see the position. White has castled and black cannot do now. The pawn is falling. Simple. The threat is not play rook into pawn. This is one threat and this is a direct threat. There is no back rank. The queen is watching. There is no back rank. Back rank cleared and why black has lot of weaknesses. King is a weak point. How many weakness? 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. There are pawn weakness, king weakness and decentralized queen also. It's a weak point. बैक रैंक क्लियर हो गया व्हाइट का ओनली प्रॉब्लम बैक रैंक because you cannot free your rook so just clear the back rank and the bishop is restricted also this is also a weak point no square it is all over practical purpose it is all over idea double under seventh rank ये ये तो this is temporary done खत्म because now the queen is watching this point and the rook is watching indirectly so the threat will come so you have to have a vision a chess vision rook on seventh rank a time pass करने के लिए आया नहीं it is not for a time pass it is watching the squares so अभी rook into pawn आएगा लेकिन डिफेंडर तो है ना तो डिफेंडर को गया you better resign now whatever you do it is lost एक एक करके चुन चुन के मारेगा हैं धर्मेंद्र बोलता है चुन चुन के मारेगा एक एक को resign as he comes here now he cannot defend queen g6 over ये सब पॉन चला जाएगा अभी ये दो पॉन जाएगा उसके बाद ये भी जाएगा सब जाएगा वन बाय वन ऑल विल फॉल टेम्पो चेक टेम्पो सब खा गया कुछ भी नहीं बचेगा कुछ भी नहीं बचेगा नॉट वर्थ 3-1 इट इज नथिंग yeah there are so many plans what I mean to say that we learned when you see lesson from Karpov's game now opening itself this is an exclam you see bad move exclam so ready to castle quickly welcome to take the pawn this is plus अभी आगे आप कैसा खेलोगे उसके ऊपर है. You give it to Tal, Tal will play more aggressively. Abhi, I will tell you, in this position, Tal will not play like this. This is Karpov style, Smyslov style. If you give this position to Tal, Tal will now play here rook e1. अभी आपको ये डेवलप करना ही तकलीफ करेगा. क्या करोगे? Now what are you going to do? I am ready to play rook e1 and demonstrate an advantage. This is a two different style. This is Karpovian style. This is Tal style. चलो क्या कर लेगा देखो. I will show that anyway you will have problem. Tell me what will you do? Bishop is g7. Okay, you want to now castle. So what I will do now? Let me see an active plan. Idea knight h4, knight f5, one plan. Attacking e7 and smashing g7. That is one plan. Rook b1. Idea rook into b7 looks good to me. Rook b1. Why rook b1? Because I want to even defend. So knight will be away from the king side. When I am going for attack, there is a guard here. He should come. So the idea is not to go for the pawn. I decoy, provoke the knight to go. तो अपना काम बन गया. नाइट आओ. अरे ये छोड़ो ना, ये पॉन को क्या रखा है? अनइम्पोर्टेंट पॉन. So you castle this or castle this side. Now knight. अभी ये बिशप देखे जिंदा रहेगा क्या? ये तो नहीं खेल सकता है. बिशप d6 आ जाए. नो, आई विल प्ले क्वीन g3 bg6. तो ये खत्म हो जाएगा. यू कैनॉट प्ले दैट. सो इट्स अ मैटर ऑफ स्टाइल. दिस इज Karpov, Smyslov, Petrosian. This is Tal, then Velimirovic, Anand or Fischer. Okay, so this is good. Okay, Birabhadra asked me, show a position where the queen gets trapped. I showed the variation. For example, e4 c6. Now d4 d5, e5 bf5, h4 h5. Now c4 check, bd2 queen. अभी हो गया काम. ये काम काम तमाम हो गया. Bad. So this is bad. This is bad. Okay. Maybe I should play here. Maybe I should play pawn push first. This is the correct approach because no complication. Queen नहीं तो भाग जाएगा. So अभी now e6, rook here. Sorry, rook here, and the queen is getting trapped. You play b5, trying to run away. No way. So क्या करेगा? अभी कुछ नहीं है. Whatever you do, he is in trouble. So here, queen cannot come out of the mess. Okay, I will leave this. And there are many other lines also. For example, for example, here d4 d5, c4 bf5. Now pawn into pawn, bishop into knight. Idea, you come here, you will take check and take, but intermediary check will come. So this is also bad for him. There are some lines, poison pawn, that queen gets trapped with queen into b2, knight b3, rook a3, rook b1, queen rook a2, queen gets trapped. Okay, let me go for other games of Miles. Karpov. This is one I have showed already. Already I showed this. No, I didn't see this. No, I didn't show you this. Hello, Nimish. Prince Gandhi. In future, King Gandhi. Now, this sort of moves are bad. I will tell you why Miles played this bad system. Carpo and Miles, there was a game. Miles won with A6. E4, A6, and Miles just won the game luckily in Montreal 79. Then the British sponsor came forward. They said Carpo beat world champion, Miles beat world champion. So why not make a match with the world champion? So a match was arranged. Miles and Kasparov. So in the match, it was five and a half. In that match, Tony Miles had prepared for Kasparov d4, c5, and now d5, e5. This is the line he prepared. A close game. Because Kasparov is a master of attack and open line, and this is played. But this is just a bad move. Because now here, you don't have to play c4. Knight c3, now d6. White is clearly better. This is called timid Benoni, and Botvinnik as white crushed Grandmaster timid. And ever since, everybody likes to play NC3. No, no more c4. One extra tempo and center. Now, if you play knight, I will play b2. Knight f3, then he is cramped. No, he will play some move like this. So I will delay that. After the move, I will not play this. I will play b2. Now, he will play some bishop here. Now I can play b3. Now he can't get that bg4. I will play s3. Now knight f3, castle, knight d2. Is a plus minus. Position is plus minus. So he he wanted to play because he had played with Kasparov that particular line. So he had made a lot of preparation. D4, c5, knight f6, c4. This is bad. Now, if you play, I will tell you a possible line. You will play d6. D6. This is the plan. Now you play knight f6, g6. Now e4, bishop g7. Now be2, castle. Now you castle, he will play e6. Now you take the pawn, the bishop takes pawn, and now the backward pawn will come. 1, 2, 3. This is the plan of and the knight is also coming. So this is coming and giving some equal chances. This position can come from two different openings. It can come from two different openings. For example, I can play e4, e4, c5. Now knight f3, g6. Now d4. Then you cannot take. This is bad. Already I have told you in my analysis. And now this is bad. bg5, knight f6, e5, bg5. So you have to play bishop g7. Now d5. So we have come the same position, roundabout. Roundabout the same position has come. Now who is playing this move order? For example, e4, c5, nf3, g6, d4. Now you take bishop, and this is not a good position. Not black will get some counter play. What kind of counter play black will get? Suppose you play this move, queen a5 check. Knight c3. Now, if you find encyclopedia, it will give bishop into c3, white is little better. I agree. I agree. Bishop into c3 takes white is little better because double bishop and development. But why should he take that? He can play knight f6. Idea, you push the knight is coming. That means you come here and then I can play queen takes pawn. Now if you play bishop here, I will come back. Now you castle the knight. I think black has a reasonable game. Black has a very reasonable game. The pressure on center. So who is the player playing all this? I must tell you, there is a player, Grandmaster Malako, Malakhob, Malako. He plays this board and got good result against weaker players. 200-300 पॉइंट नीचे है उनको मारता था. ही ही वाज 2702. 2200-2300 प्लेयर को आराम से खा जाता था. व्लादिमीर मालाको, who was one time second of Vlad Kramnik. मालाको worked with Kramnik. So ये लाइन it is not that bad. ये जो लाइन है it is not that bad. I will come back. I will come back to you now. E4 C5 knight F3 G6 इतना बुरा नहीं है. अभी D4 खेलेगा, NF3 G6 D4. You don't have to take it. You can play this. Now the correct move is to play C3, maintaining the center. This is good. This is definitely white is little better. Now you take. Now he can play D5. You know. Now E5 white looks better. White has space. So anything this is little better. Or you can take. You can play knight F6. No, knight F6 is bad. E5 is coming. Knight is coming. This is anyway plus. Anyway plus. White is anyway plus. White has a lead in development and better center. So this is possible, and you can get in this move also. I will get the diagram in this way also. D4 C5. Now D5 D6. Now NC3 G6 NF6. Now E4 G6. Now knight F3 BG7 B2 castle and E6. Black has counterplay. You take, then how are you going to stop D5 move? कैसा बंद करोगे? ये करोगे. If you do this, now pinning, I will come queen. भाई बचाओ इसको, बचाओ. इतना इजी नहीं है. Not so easy. So ये लाइन प्लेबल है. Okay. हेलो प्रियम चावड़ा. Actually D4 to E4, I will tell you, Mikhail Tal, Spassky, and they all played both D4 and E4. Karpov D4 E4. The point is, you need to be flexible in tournament, but do not play by seeing some 2-3 games. You have to work. Or in my opinion, to make an opening report with the help of the data and computer, it will take, in my opinion, 2 weeks. 2 weeks if you jot down. Don't see the game and leave it. Do not say I have noted in mind. It is like a blackboard, it will get erased. So you jot down the moves. I would say if you jot down about 40, 40 variations, then you are ready. You are ready to play against very strong players also. 40 lines. Because you have to prepare white side E4, you have to prepare Sicilian some 7-8 lines, Royal Lopez some 3-4 lines, then Park Modern 2-3 lines, Karokan 2-3 lines. So white side you may get around maybe 20, and then for E4 two variations, D4 two variations, because here the variations are limited. So 40. If you play 40 main lines, then you are ready. And if you take 2 weeks, that means maybe 1 month. Maybe 1 month it will take. Because you need to analyze and you need to write. Not much, only 15 moves. If a player is prepared, well prepared, good 15 moves in any opening, he is a very strong international master. Today, earlier it was 10 moves. Now it has become 15, and for a grandmaster, you say 18-20 moves. If you go further and further, that is wow. But at the moment, I would say find out, develop a cell center and a ready-made plan in mind. Hello, Dr. Sanapati. Good morning. So, this is a line I tell you now. Miles, Carpo, I'll go. Miles and Carpo, he played this variation, which is not so good. White is better. Now, I will tell you the bind is not so effective. If the pawn is on d6, the bind is more effective. The pawn is more effective because it is not easy to strike. But here, that's more easier to strike the bind. But don't do that right away. A wrong direction. He is going in the absolute wrong direction. Idea threatening the e4 pawn. Exchanging will help black. Now you have to ask question why you have come here. White has made very normal moves. That means you cannot go back and give a odd of a move. You can't do that. So this is the defect. Now he has wasted time and the threat has come. We must notice the threat. Now he is threatening to play knight d5. Okay, and d5, rook आ गया. So knight d5, you take pawn into with a clear plus. तो पीछे. That means अभी queen पीछे और ये भी जाएगा पीछे. पीछे 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 कितना पीछे? Threat. Now if you play like this, there is a problem. The bishop has no retreat. A3, you have to surrender the bishop. So he has to play bishop, which is anyway another bad move. Idea, I can remove the knight and there is check will not come. I will trap the bishop at right time. So this is a prophylactic move and good move. Normal player will not play this move. They will play some rook e1. They will play some a3 b4. But excellent prophylactic. How many weak points? एक तो क्वीन दोबारा मूव हुआ. Queen move twice and badly placed. दो queen move and bad. दो bishop move and bad. Now preparing for a strategic plan. My plan is to make a battery. Bishop coming there and then queen coming in the long diagonal. Regrouping. अभी रुक का काम हो गया. On the focus. To the point, to the center. You have to play d6. You cannot allow me e5. That would be devastating. The queen e4 will kill him next. So, okay. Welcome to take that knight. Focusing on d6. Now the point is, now note exchange and f4 is coming. So he comes. The position is lost. I want you to find a plan. This is a lost position for black. Lost, I am telling lost. कितना मूव वेस्ट किया है और क्या क्या वीकनेस है. ओके, आई विल टेल यू द लिस्ट ऑफ वीकनेसेस. नाउ एक तो ये दिस इज बैड बिकॉज ये दोनों वेट कर रहे हैं. द बिशप्स आर वेटिंग टू स्ट्राइक. द क्वीन इज रेडी टू स्ट्राइक. द रूक इज रेडी टू कम टू थर्ड रैंक. ये सब अच्छा है. ये एक किंग वीक है. दिस इज अ टारगेट. बैडली प्लेस्ड क्वीन, बैडली प्लेस्ड रूक. नाउ दिस इज बैडली प्लेस्ड नाइट. These are not good place. But what to do now? इतना सब वीक पॉइंट है. अभी d6 पॉइंट, अभी ये भी एक फोकस है. तो what should we do now? Find a plan. Veerabhadra Singh says f4. So f4 correct move. Correct move. अभी कुछ कर नहीं सकता है. Okay. Now Please find out what to do. You have made f4, but don't open the game. Rook is against the queen. Don't forget about it. The queen is in front of the rook. So what will you do now? Asim Kumar Bera, sir, why not rook fe1 instead of rook df1? Instead of rook de1. Okay, I will tell you at that point. Here he plays this one. Your question is why this move? Okay, I will tell you why this move. Because the strategy, this rook is well placed for activity against this pawn, this pawn, and I want to start action. The rook will be active against this. So I want to employ f4, e5, f5. This rook will be active. So if you play here, then एक तो अभी ये rook का कोई काम नहीं है. So again I have to return. That is why if for future operation, for example, it happened. Now the rook is ideally placed. Okay. I am tempted to play Italian after seeing above games. Yeah, it is. It is play. You can play Italian. Now the climax is coming. What should white do now? आपको वीकनेस के बारे में फोकस चाहिए. योर माइंड शुड लुक लाइक अर्जुन ऑन द वीकनेसेस. Yes, correct move into the weakness. Into the weakness, bishop is watching, then pawn will come. It is devastating. It is devastating. Knight f3 and then d5. No, he made a one move knight, because if you want to sacrifice, the pieces must be ready to attack first. So better improve and then nd5 will come. Now nd5. It is a temporary sacrifice. Temporary. If you take bishop takes f6, mate threat, and it is next to resignation. Now if you take pawn into bishop into mate threat, and now maybe he will play some move like this, and now he can just resign. Hopeless. अभी क्या इन दो पीस के लिए क्या है? You may lose the knight, but two pieces, is it worth it? कुछ नहीं. Hello, Falak Jani Nayak. What about e5 followed by f5? Yeah, there are many plans. Ramakrishna, in such a position, there are many plans. Now, the main theoretical line is to play bishop c4, because d5 is a threat. Once the knight comes and controlling the square, this is a threat. So, white main line is bishop c4. You should stop, or you can stop the move by g4. Idea, if d5, g5, this is also okay. But this is not the correct way, because a pawn move without castling, black gets counterplay. It is not the best way theoretically. But a weaker players will fumble. When you play g4, the comparatively inexperienced players will make mistakes. It is interesting. But the main line is g sub. So other line is to no, either other line is to play castle. He is not happy. Now knight into will come and bishop c4 will come. So it takes. Now the point is, in this particular line, there are many variations. White can play a3 now with a better game. Black is preparing b5, b4 with activity. Okay, you may ask me, what do you do for b5? B5. But in this case, I will just play knight. The reason is the end game is plus minus. After queen takes queen, rook takes queen. Now you play knight into, pawn into. You cannot take that. Now you come here, a backward pawn. This is a backward pawn in the e file, open file. You will pile up pressure. This is a very bad pawn structure. So there is no attack and weaknesses are there. This is precisely Karpov wants to play. So if you analyze this position, then you will have give a lot of tough time to dragon players. Dragon player will have hard time. This ending is difficult. So in the actual game, what happened? Similar thing comes. Similar thing came here. Rook d8. He played h4. Now rook c8. Knight d5. You have to play. You cannot go back. Then knight into f6. Knight into f6. I will play. I won't take this pawn. I won't take this. I will take here. I will take this and shatter the position. And then I will play h5, f4. All these things. The pawn is falling. This is devastating. So you should not go back. You must exchange queen. Check. Check. Now takes. Now this is backward pawn. You cannot take that. Now this ending is extremely difficult. So defend a7. I will not exchange. You exchange. Now the backward pawn the pressure. Believe me that this ending is very difficult for black. Idea the rook will cover. Now I want to cover the rook on third rank. But knight e4. So this is the square or protect that weak square. Now, anything opponent white is strong on queen side because of 3-2 majority. So you do anything is bad. But anyway, there is no counterplay. So he comes desperately, and after this move, it is just bad. I want you. What should white do now? What should white do? A very interactive game. Very interesting classical game. He played bishop, and now when he comes king, the king, and now an exchange sacrifice is coming. Because the strength of the pass pawn and active rook, so it gives exchange sacrifice. This is winning because the bishop is coming and the pawn is too much, two square away. So only move. You take rook in rook will get crushed. You will get crushed. King. Now pawn push will win the game. Idea king b5, king b6. So it is lost position. So here pawn on the sixth rank already. So he goes rook. But then rook seventh rank, bishop into pawn. There is nothing left. He has to just push the pawn and bishop c6 all over. So this is the end game. I will tell you, okay, this position is mishandled because he faced this first time, but this ending is bad. Let me tell you, this move, this end game, it is just a bad thing for us. Black has to struggle. The queen exchange is practically forced, and now how are you going to defend e7? अगर आप ये यूरोप करोगे, then additional problem will come. Knight will come, so ये आएगा मार दो. This is plus. बिशप आएगा, bad position. तो ये you please study this end game. आप ये end game को independently study करो and you will give a tough time to strong dragon players. They will be unwilling to enter the end game. See, I was telling you about chess psychology. अरे बाबा क्या बात कर रहे हो? Cannot concentrate. They are just a minute, please. I close the door. We just psychology. For example, Miles was a dragon player, but they need to work out. The team worked out. Okay, this ending he has not worked, so present him to play this end game. So suddenly he was nowhere. Now there was a player, Girardelli. Girardelli was to play. I will show you the game. Maybe GE होगा. GERA. Okay, this is the one Girardelli. Now the game started here C4 C6. Now what happens is Kasparov found out that this player he did not play. Now in knight f3 he was very much he always wanted to play that c4 and then knight f3 and thereafter some variations he has mastered. So after the move he played this is a Kasparov said this is a success, taking the opponent away from his preparation. He was not playing G3 in lines. He had mastered the art. Always that he will play, if you play normal moves like C5 he was ready. Now he will play NC3, E4. So he forced him to play C6 and now after knight F3, G6, now there is nothing. Now E4 is pointless. E4 is pointless now. NC3 is also no pointless. So now you have to develop the bishop. So this. So Kasparov said that psychologically this itself is a success. So I force my opponent to play something which he doesn't know. Now, in one of my student, I trained in Olympiad, chess Olympiad. Now he said my opponent plays C4. Then no, he plays. You play knight f6. Then he plays whatever you do. He will play knight f3 and then g3 bg2 castle. He says next move he says g3 bg2 castle. You do any setup, he is ready. Then I advised him a simple move. I said c4, you play d6. So he will play knight f3. He is not afraid of this move, old Indian. So I said you play e5. E5. Now you need to stop that. So you play this. Now f5. Now you need to stop that. Knight f6. Now the position g3, but here if you compare, the player is not ready for this setup. Now you have to play rook b1 and b4 b5 expansion. Now I told him to play d6. Bishop here. Now bg7. Now castle, castle. And he got a good attack and went on to win. White is a strong IM. And my student went on to win the game. So it is important that you should go for a setup what your opponent do not like. Okay. This is important that it is not in a report tag, but you see what setup he is doing and take him away from that setup. Let us say one player told me e4 c5, e4 c5, knight f3, now e4 c5, knight f3, now you place d6, now d4, and you take the pawn. Now, not queen takes pawn. This is a line, knight into pawn, and knight f6. Now the white player was playing f3. Now you play this, white is happy. Okay, black will equalize. करो equal. Ready to equalize the position. अभी क्या करोगे? You cannot equalize a position with a lower rated player. Who is white? I will tell you. I will tell you the name. White name is the woman grandmaster Vuksanovic. Vuksanovic. You can check in the data. She only plays this. She used to play only this. And thereafter bishop g7, knight c3, castle, bishop e3, b2, castle, rook d1. So she will throw some 15 moves and black कुछ कर नहीं सकता है. अभी नाइट आएंगे तो मैं बिशप e2 करेगा तो बिशप आएंगे, अरे करो ना, मारो इसको, चलो मारो, यू टेक इक्वलिटी, क्या कर लेगा? रेडी टू ड्रॉ. So I told, there is a interesting, I told my friend, she is doing this, you do one thing, do one thing. Now d6 take, she is playing this. So you do not take the pawn. I told him after d4, you do not take the pawn. You play knight f6. अभी मारो जो बाइंड आएगा कहां से? अभी बाइंड कहां से आएगा? And if you take the pawn, then knight into pawn, you lost all your advantage. सेंटर pawn गया, अभी कोई अटैक विटैक आने वाला नहीं है. So that means you have to play nc3. तो बाइंड बंद हो गया ना, अभी बाइंड बंद हो गया. I will take pawn into pawn. Now अभी बाइंड कहाँ है? There is no bind now. No c4 bun. So a small twist. Okay. Hello Vela. Hello Devam. So ये dragon ending study करो white से. ये position I recommend, ये recommend कर रहा हूँ. ये इतना आसान नहीं है. ये एंडिंग में इतना आसान नहीं है. Very tough. खा गया. माइल्स को खा गया. देखो माइल्स को आराम से कारपोच जीत गया. अभी जो भी करेगा क्वीन साइड में इनिशिएट. Now he is throwing the another, every time he was coming up something new with Karpo. So BB5. Main line of this one. Knight D6 takes. If he plays knight as white, you do not exchange. This is bad. Now this end game, he has nothing. White has no advantage. Because of the central knight, you are unable to bring the knight. And he can defend it. You can defend it. You can play bishop f5. You can defend it. Okay. So this is not a very serious matter. Now bishop c5 is coming. Bishop c5 is coming. Knight c3 is unable to develop. So it is not a good idea to play this kind of moves. Okay. So here you should not exchange. White should play queen e2 with an advantage. So in the game, take, and this is the main line. Take, and now knight c3. Now b3. Now the main line goes rd1, or you can play knight e2 also. Idea to challenge the knight. Knight e2, and once the knight is exchanged, then the mobility 4-3 will come. But this is the best approach. Okay, this b3. Idea, now if my knight is coming to g5, you can't remove. Then white gets majority quickly. Restriction. take, and tempo. So he comes here. Plus. White is now already plus. You cannot dislodge the knight. You can't allow me knight b5 coming. And now f4, f5 on the card also in future. The position is plus minus. Abhi, this is a pawn. I want to get rid of this pawn because main strategy of white is the mobility of king side. In this position, like white must mobilize his king side pawns. तो वो कैसा करेगा देखो. And replace the knight. Now take and knight. I will come for the d4 pawn, h4 pawn. Exchange a pair of rook. Now rook. This position is gradually will fall. Now the point. Now I get a tempo. So you don't play rook h1 again losing time. This is gone position. I think I showed this yesterday. Yesterday only I showed the end game. So plus minus. I showed the end game. In case somebody has missed, you can go back and see that. Now some games of heart I will show you. So the knight, this is really giving trouble. I call this Russian knight. I call the Russian knight has entered e5. He will not leave that square. Very safe and solid. Next bishop c4. Plus minus. ये bad move है. This is a bad move. What you can do here? You can play here. Next, I think g6 is also bad move because of bishop c4. Maybe here you can play bishop to e6. Possible. It is possible to play b6. This is a better way to play. But this is ridiculous. g4, h4. Now you play h5 or h6. Now chronic weakness. गया ये गेम. अभी दो बिशप है, इतना वीकनेस है. वीक g6, वीक e6, वीक e5 स्क्वायर. टू बिशप 12 का भाव में जाएगा. Of course, you play bishop here, he will play knight to e7 and knight f5. So this is stronger move. Joining one more piece. Now rook e3 is coming. अभी किस किस को बचाएगा? अभी rook is coming and knight d5 met by rook f3. थ्रेट है. rook into f5 डायरेक्ट थ्रेट. चेक. ये जिंदा नहीं रहेगा. ये फॉर एक्सचेंज अभी कितना वीकनेस है. एक पॉन एक्सचेंज. आई गॉट वन पॉन एंड into this square. So this is a miserable position. All white square. अभी I just need to bring the castle and bring the rook. कहाँ जाता है? जाता कहाँ है? King cannot go. खत्म. एक एक करके सब जाएगा. Resign. So one bad move enough. I'm sorry. This bishop f5. You cannot do this. तो ये पोजीशन इतना कुछ सीरियस नहीं है. Yeah, this is okay. And now this, you don't have to play this. b6 is a reasonable move. Timoshenko राजा जब में हुआ था ये, Gennady Timoshenko, and reasonable place there. I will take you to Spanish opening directly because all these moves are ये सब ये लाइन सब ready made है. So B5, BB3, D6, now C3, castle, now S3. This is all regular line. So knight F5, bishop C2, C5, figure in main line, and D2. I think this is not maybe here bishop D7 is more to the point. Making your plan whether you push the pawn, whether you capture. This is more better, more solid, ambitious plan. This is ambitious plan. Idea knight B4 and A5 A4 double bishop. ये पुराना लाइन है. Bishop B1. Now plus. He has got a plus now. White has got space and better game. Center is better. You capture it is bad. C line is coming. White is plus minus. All white pieces are coordinating and there is no easy counter attack available. So I will leave this position because it's a long game and center. So I will go to a position Carpo 7. I recommend Spanish Open is good. If a player studies Spanish Open, he will get good result in tournament. Because in Marshall Gambit Royal Opens, Black gives a pawn for active piece play, which is very complicated. Theoretically, it is little better, but I believe that there is very much too much complicated variations comes. Even with the help of data, computer, still it is not refuted. Not refuted. But Spanish Open, without giving a pawn, Black gets active piece play. This is the only method. RE1 is not good. Not good. Black gets a very easy game. So, correct. This is the main theoretical main line. Now, knight into pawn is bad. If you take this black is comfortable. He will take and just C6. Then ये passive हो गया अभी. ये कुछ नहीं मिलेगा. White has nothing. So you have to take with the pawn. You have to take with the pawn here. Now the threat on D5 is up. This is the main position of Spanish Open. Now there are possible lines Taras, Laskar, Keres, and maybe Arthur Isupo. So Paul Keres found a plan here, Queen E2, so that the rook will come against the queen next and play C4. I will bring the rook against the queen and then I will play C4 with counter attack. This is not effective. The reason is it is losing time. अभी ये जो प्लान है ये ये आएगा मार देगा. आपको प्लान एक थ्रेट देगा. Suppose queen e2. Maybe what can I do? I will play maybe normal move. Maybe bishop e7. Normal. And if you play queen here, rook here, I may move the queen. तो अभी c4 कहाँ से आएगा? हाँ? Where you will get c4? And also queen a2, I can play knight directly. तो तुमको टाइम कहाँ है? अभी रुक d1 को मैं मार देगा. c3 जैसा करेगा मार देगा. क्वीन हट जाएगा अभी. So Keras line is not effective nowadays. The other plan is to play c3. This is popular, called Laskar system. The most popular ND2 is called Taras. This is main line. ND2 is the main line. Okay. Now, other than that, this some players play BE3. The idea, they are not happy with the bishop C5 line. Suppose you play C3, then you will play bishop C5. and trying to give a sacrifice at this point. Now you play bishop c2, now castle, now knight d2, knight d2 he will sacrifice. This is called Dilworth attack. Master of the line is Yusufu. So white players don't like this line, many white players. So they play here bishop to e3, stopping the plan. No bishop c5. But this is also not dangerous. So main line here is knight d2. Okay, I will go for that. So I told you, if you want to play white this, you must study this thoroughly. This is a very dangerous line. Very unclear position come. Not easy. After here knight into pawn, rook into, black will play f6 to open the rook line. Now when you play pawn into, then I will take queen into pawn. This is really good. Now I was black. One player played this with me. This is a terrible move. This is a terrible move. The knight must stay near the king for defense. You know, after the move, I think the position is very bad. No, no, no. I think knight e4. The position is very bad. Very, very bad. Knight e5 for white. That is the reason you must play knight here. And then anyway, you will have play knight coming here. Black has very active piece play. Welcome Adi Jain. So here, queen into pawn and idea knight e4. So in this game, this did not happen. Maybe once one session I will discuss only one full session for the sacrifice. It is worth it. This is called Dilworth attack. I will explain that. So here he comes knight d2, bishop c2, and he plays bishop f5. The other line here, other line f5, f5. This line is white is better. White will play. Not I cannot say white better. White has a good line because this is very complicated. I am not telling white better because after knight coming to d3, bishop will come. Then knight coming to d4. Then knight into knight has to be played, and then maybe I will play knight into, then bishop into, then he will play pawn into, then he will play pawn push. Idea f3. Then after this knight dumping the knight. मारेगा मारना पड़ेगा भाई मारेगा the threat is queen h4 idea made so queen comes and if you I want to stop the move queen h4 means I will return the piece this is returning the piece so here queen coming black will play bishop queen h4 is bad queen exchange कर देंगे end game is better for white so bishop f5 now take and now queen h4 bishop here queen takes pawn three pieces for the queen he has got three pieces for the queen. So I would say white is little better, but it is not easy. If a white player has not analyzed, white will went down. White will go down rather go down. So a complicated variation. Please note that this is very important. So in the game, all these things did not happen. So here he played bishop f5, knight. This is bad. Also bishop into, and this is now a backward pawn. A backward pawn is there, square, and this is in the air. This is in the air. Plan, strategic plan. White has got ready-made plan. I will play f4, f5. So strategically, white is better. a5. So center because you are pushing my knight. I overprotect the center. Bishop नहीं दे सकता है bishop. a3. It looks like that black has got really good counterplay. Let me tell you, you should never become nervous. There is resources. White has a good position. Black has no right to attack. Black should try to equalize, but he has gone for counter attack. It will not work. The threat is coming. RC6 is coming. He will next move rook c6 and then he will play mc2. Rook c6, knight c2. Idea, if you play bishop takes knight, knight into attack, and if you take it, this is winning. Not a winning, it is a clearly better position. Bad position for. So it is not a good idea. Oppose wrong color. You can now bishop will be posted. The bishop will be posted here. So it is a bad position, and f6 break will come. So, but you are not forced a line after the move. I am not compelled to take. I am not compelled to take bishop into. I will play this simple move. Now what are you doing? But c2 knight तो मारेगा. Knight into rook piece down हो जाएगा. You take rook into c6 और ये knight अभिमन्यु. I should not tell. There is a grandmaster with Abhimanyu's name. Should not tell that name Abhimanyu. Knight गणपत हो जाएगा. So this is bad. That means अभी knight into bishop मारा. तो rook into. तो black made a smart move. Knight into. अभी नहीं मार सकता है. King into मारेगा तो fork है. This is just losing now. But white has a good position. You need not capture because opponent has taken. He plays simple move. अभी आई एम थ्रेटनिंग द नाइट. अभी ये मारेंगे तो ये नाइट गणपत हो गया. ये नाइट गॉन. So this is lost position. So he plays queen d7. Lost one piece. And next piece down. अभी ये नाइट कहाँ जाएगा? One piece down. So ये जो है this position tactics will backfire. If the position is good, you should see that it will not work. Opponent's cheap tactics will not work. Well defended by Karpov. Parvat Thakkar, welcome. क्लासिकल एक दो गेम और है रखा है मैं. Tal versus Trifnovich. Karpov hot. This is a really good game. I enjoyed seeing the game and also gave in some camps. Kevin Engine. I told you Tal attack is good here. B3, F4, Queen F3. This is good. You can play B3 with the idea F4, Queen F3 and long castle. This is really good. Keras attack, equally good. Idea G5 and drive and then attack. Very strong position. Now Queen D2. Any capture will bring the white pieces into the game more strongly. Now white is clear better. On weaknesses, but white has space, development, and he is going to king castle king side. So king side weaknesses hardly matters. No counterplay. Knight c4 I will not allow. So nothing. Okay. Open the position further. No problem about it. Now, of course, other moves are not good. This move. Actually, white is better. Let us take a stock. What is the weakness of white? Weakness is this rook is not coming now. Number one. Number two, that this square knight can come any moment. Sit down strongly. This is a weak square in white position, that this is a very strong knight is coming. Second, the king you have to get time to bring to coordinate your rooks. What is a strong point of white? White has bishop pair in open position. Number one, the rook is active in the line, and white has king. Black king is on uncastled. He is not going to castle here. So you have 2-3 moves before black can organize, and white pieces will come faster. This is what Karpov demonstrates. So I told you you should grab a pawn if there is no way you can punish. You cannot punish, you take it. This is the idea. Now the king wants to slip and coordinate the routes. You are free to take that pawn. The material will be equal. I am not playing passively. All learn that grandmaster, world champion, they always find an active move. Not playing passive move, good move. Rook on the fourth rank is operating. Now rook can come here, rook can come c4, giving threats. The queen is not safe here. So he did not take the pawn, and I will not allow him anymore. Idea he is stopping my king entry. Idea he is stopping. Now come. You cannot castle. You cannot castle. Bishop g4 will come. Push. Forced. हो गया काम. Now rook fourth rank, I have done the job. I have done the damage in fourth rank. Now rook will return third rank, defending the bishop and giving a threat. Forced. You have no time. If you move the knight, then rook e3 is again terrible. You have to go back, then re3 will come, bishop f4 will come. So he sacrifices the exchange. Again threat. There is no time for him to take because after queen into queen h6, it is devastating. Maybe queen e3 check will come also. Devastating. White king is less vulnerable compared to black because the bishop is attacked. You have to move. No castle. Now the h passer is there. H passer is there. No castle. There is no castle and h pass pawn. The rook is also active. Lost position. So please note the way he maneuvered. I would recommend you to see the game Karpov and Zaitsev. That is also a position where the king making a long walk to queen side. Very important game. Two more games I will show you. एक है फिशर टिप्नोविच in Spanish Open. Trick, he is doing a trick. Of course, here you can play bishop takes pawn, queen into a knight c3, you will get the piece back. But Fischer plays directly. Good move. On pawn into, I will take bishop takes pawn, or even queen into pawn. So d3, then I get the piece back with a better game. The queen is not coming in the center. So here he plays bishop e6. I recover the pawn with clear. Note, please note that why this move order. If a player will play greedily, it is minus plus. अगर आप ये मारोगे, ये bad है, bad for white. Knight into queen into b6. अभी c5 c4 stop हो रहा है. That means you lose valuable time. You know bishop is coming, c5 is coming. So mechanical knight into pawn is a bad move. Bad move. So nc3, even bd5. bd5, you are activating the black queen. You will get the piece back. But why activate the queen? So simple knight c3 is plus minus. Plus minus. Now I will give a weak pawn. The endgame will be plus. Plus end. मार नहीं सकता है. अटैक प्लस. अभी वो pawn तो गया. एक दूसरा रुक आने वाला है. गया प्लस. Yeah, actually Trifunovic is known as drawing master. He used to always choose variation. बहुत सारे पीस एक्सचेंज हो जाएगा और wood pushing. He was known as drawing master. So anyway, Fischer, he was unable to draw with Tal, Smyslov, Botvinnik, and Fischer. So this is not easy. So they add in technique. For example, he tried to smash love. Smash love ने उसको आराम से धोया. So exchanging pieces, one of his idea. Next, I want to exchange bishop f6, knight d7. So I want to exchange. The only idea Urdu sing. So bishop. Idea exchange पे exchange. बोला करो exchange, करो. Then you will settle with the bad bishop. If you take it, then Smyslov के साथ तुम bad bishop लेके खेल रहा है. World champion, master of technique. टेक्निक में अगर आप बोलेंगे 5 प्लेयर वर्ल्ड का, स्माइस्लोव उसमें एक है. आई वुड पुट मैग्नस कार्लसन, आई वुड पुट अनाटोली कार्पो, वेसिली स्माइस्लोव, अकीबा रुबिनस्टाइन. टेक्निकली एक्स्ट्राऑर्डिनरी प्लेयर्स. उल्फ एंडरसन, राफेल वागानियन. सो ये तो गया 12 का भाव में जाएगा ये. दिस इज जस्ट बैड. So he is not daring. So he plays pawn into. Okay. Now queen h5. So rook scientific. The next job rook e1, rook e3, rook d3. So आ गया. अभी बिशप यहाँ बिठा देगा और सब कुछ बराबर है. नहीं. So अभी if you go bishop to g6, I will play queen to f3. Then again pressure will come. So he played this queen. Trick, he is putting a trick. If you play bishop here, queen here, he will take bishop into bishop. अभी आप रूक से मारने से अच्छा नहीं. सो एक एक मुंह का ट्रिक लगा रहा है. आई विल प्ले क्वीन. सो आया. नहीं तो अभी मारेगा. सो आया. नाउ ही प्लेस रूक. आइडिया, आई एम नाउ ओपनिंग द गेम विद d5. तुमको जो करना है करो. एक मुंह का थ्रेट था, ये एक मुंह का थ्रेट है. आ गया. सो क्वीन हो गया काम. अब तो गया. अब गया. सेंट्रल पासपान इज कमिंग. e6 में फ्रैक्चर होगा. अभी ट्रिफनोविच का टाइम आ गया. अभी क्या है, यू सी, यू आर आस्किंग वर्ल्ड चैंपियन टू डेमोन्स्ट्रेट एक्टिविटी ऑफ ओपन लाइन. रूक आएगा एंथोनी. रूक n2 इंटू इंटू. अभी ये रूक नहीं आता है. 2 रूक के लिए दे देगा. यू कैन डेयर नॉट कम. अभी बस हमको यहां पहुंचना है. There are 2 plans. One, I want to come here to want this plan. And another plan to go prepare for some g4, f4 and then this is also weakness. दो weakness है. Bishop is a target. This is a weak point. King is a target. The square is a target. बोला exchange करेंगे. तो no exchange. Idea g4. Idea queen d4. Idea अभी क्या है, if you play queen he will survive. Rook g8 and he will survive for a long time. Whereas this is finished. And next I am threatening to play f5. तो रुक g8. आइडिया f5 को मार देगा. क्वीन एक्सचेंज करो और मरो. रुक इनटू पॉन अटैक. b7, f7, all the pressure. Now this is a easy win. You are surrendering a piece. दो बिशप रुक के लिए टू मच. मार दो और f5. टू बिशप इज टू बिशप. मारो. बिशप तो आएगा कुछ नहीं. दो बिशप है. रुक के लिए दो बिशप टू मच. ये तो गया. कुछ नहीं होगा. So Smyslov beat him in his style. Fischer beat him in his style. And there is another one. Tal beat him in his own style. I like Tal's games. Opponent को शॉक देता है. The tricking the opponent. Maybe I will go to the pujo opening deck. This is a drawing technique. Exchange. Now another exchange. So he avoids. White is better. Advantage in opening has come. Plus minus. This position is plus minus. Bad B7. अभी weakness भरपूर है. ये तो रुक मारेगा ही. This is not an important pawn. Create a weakness. जाओ bishop f8. हो गया काम. अभी दब गया, बिशप दब गया. ये वीकनेस है. सॉरी, ये वीकनेस के लिए ये दब गया. ये दोनों अभी टाइट हो गया और ये पावर है इधर. सो नेक्स्ट जॉब आई वांट टू ओपन फर्दर. अरे ये मिस्टेक ओवरराइट कर दिया. आई डिड ओवरराइट. दिस इज अ टेरिबल थिंग. सो चलो अभी आई विल टेल यू. क्वीन एक्सचेंज कर दिया. ट्रिफनोविच क्वीन एक्सचेंज आखिर कर ही दिया. द पोजीशन इज प्लस फॉर व्हाइट. बेटर सेंटर and more weaknesses for black. एक्टिव रुक, एक ही एक्टिव रुक है, उसको भी निकाल दो. सो प्लस. अभी कोई मूव नहीं है. दिस इज लाइक वर्चुअल जुगजुआंग है. वर्चुअल जुगजुआंग. कुछ नहीं, टाइम पास करेगा. नो बिशप मूव, नो रूक मूव, टाइम पास. सो आई विल हैव एक्टिविटी. e4 e5. Okay, now back attack. So now winning the pawn. What should you do now? Typical tal. This is very instructive end game. Typical tal. First you stop the action. First you stop that pawn threat. Come through. Not making king move. Not making king move at the moment. So why you will realize he comes here. Now typical tal. Even in end game. Now normal player will take pawn into. You do not want a weakness. So normal will play pawn into and throw away all your winning advantage. After this, there is no more winning advantage. So Tal plays the shocking e6. Yeah, yes. Harsh Mehra, e4 in the air. Yeah. So here, typical Tal. If you play pawn takes pawn, active black king is active. I don't think any winning chance remains. So fantastic move. You cannot play king bishop into rook check. You cannot do king move. Only move. Check. You cannot go down. Back rank problem. Rook exchange means it is gone ending. I want to stop that. And now the threat remains. Threat pawn push in case, then pawn push. So now the threat is b5. He says, I stop the b5 pressure. You play pawn push, I will take it. Anyway, pawn push. Anyway. Threat. You give check, check. You give check, check. King will come. King will come. So there is nothing. So only move. Divert the rook. Only move. Now support the rook bishop. Only move. Now the king pawn ending is lost. All you need to bring the king and then go for pawn. Taking now it is draw, but one move. And now a king pawn ending. मार दो सारे मार दो and now win. So you can see the pulse of the position. ये जो मूव है यहाँ पर जबरदस्त है. ये BD7 खेला, ये आया. This is a extraordinary move. You know, computer does not make this kind of moves. I think I have shown Trifunovic का दिखा दिया सब. ये जो एक गेम शायद रह गया, ये गेम शायद रह गया. Okay, all this we'll see later. So thank you very much, friends. So I will be back at 2:30 today for some classic game of other players. I have showed lot of wood pushing and lot of restricting mobility of Karpos. I will take you to some another classic player and we'll discuss some interesting games. Namaskar. Bye.